So I guess Mary Raider made Garth Pig.
Correct. Mrs. Pig's bulk buy.
And that's how I can tell.
And that's how you can tell.
Because it's been a story about in the Valley of Garth Pig.
Yes.
By Mary Rayner, so it's Mary Rayner on the other book.
Right.
Except maybe on Garth Pig there are two guys. One illustrates the book and the other.
I don't know about that. We'd have to look again.
And smiling.
A long time ago, when the piglets were very small, Mrs. Pig went out to do the week's shopping, as usual.
She's not as important as us, right?
Who's not as important as what?
The pigs are not as important as
Simba.
Sorrel.
She left Sorrel and Bryony and Hillary and Sarah and Cindy and Toby.
Toby.
And
William.
Alice. William. And Benjamin. And Garth. At home with their father. It's the word Garth. The name Garth.
This one might be Garth. No, that's William.
That one could be William or Garth. Yeah.
We're sliding down the
Certainly are. We'll go up here and slide down there. Oh, not under the pillow.
Right on the pillow. He fell on the pillow.
They're jumping. They're sliding under the pillows. Mrs. Pig went round the supermarket with a big shopping cart until she reached...
Why is she being
We'll find out. Until she...
I know why
You think so?
Yeah, because they are getting all of it.
I think you may be right. With a big... until she reached the tomato...
I think they're stealing.
Not exactly.
God said they're stampeding.
That's a good point. Stampeding. Until she reached the tomato ketchup shelf. There she paused. An idea came to her, and a smile spread across her fat face. She put 6 enormous jars of ketchup into the cart and went on with the rest of the shopping. When she reached home, all the little white piglets rushed down the hall to greet her. "Hello," they squealed. "What have you bought?" And they began to pull things out of her basket, ripping open the bags of potato chips and packets of cookies and spilling them all over the floor. Scrunch, scrunch went their sharp little feet, and munch, munch went their greedy little jaws. "Leave those things alone," said Mrs. Pig, cuffing them away with her hard trotters and picking up what was left of the potato chips.
Potato chips.
She went into the kitchen and put the food away carefully in the cupboard. She placed the 6 jars of tomato ketchup on a high shelf and gave a little chuckle. Usually, whatever she cooked for the children, they would be sure to ask for tomato ketchup on it.
It might. There's always a. If they would go outside, it would burn. If it was too hot, it would burn. Daddy would.
That's interesting.
There used to be.
Yes.
There's always a bad lady in there, Garth
Usually,
Pig.
but I'm not sure there will be one in this. This is not a Garth Pig story.
But there might be a robber guy
All right,
who
let's
tricks
find out.
them into trying to
Find out.
steal.
Usually, whatever she cooked for the children, they would be sure to ask for tomato ketchup on it. They had it on all the usual things, such as egg and French fries. But that was not all. They also spread it on their toast in the mornings, mixed it with their salad at dinner time, poured it on their bread at tea, and sloshed it all over their scrambled eggs at supper.
Scrambled egg.
Mrs. Pig had been in despair. Means she feels like there's nothing she can do to get them to stop putting ketchup on everything they eat. She feels like there's no hope. They'll always just pour ketchup on everything. No matter how carefully she flavored the stews or spiced the puddings, the piglets always squealed for tomato ketchup. She had always tried to...
Squeal.
stop them. She had always tried to stop them from having it and make one bottle last a week, but it was always gobbled up by Monday, and then the piglets would grumble until she went to the supermarket again. But
can you believe that?
But things will be different soon, thought Mother Pig happily. She reached down one of the big jars and emptied it into a huge soup tureen.
What is she making?
What do you think she's doing? Then she set it on the table and laid the places for dinner. Father Pig had gone out. She called up to the piglets. Dinner's ready. There was a thunder of feet as the piglets ran downstairs, and they shout up, "Wait for me!" from Garth.
That's Garth.
What are we having? Asked William Pig.
William Pig!
And he leaned over the tureen and lifted the lid. "What's this?" "That's your dinner," said Mrs. Pig. "For the first time in your lives, you can have as much tomato ketchup as you like. Help yourselves." The piglets did not wait, but crowded round with their spoons.
Help yourself.
Crowded round with their spoons, ladling out as much onto their plates as they could get. "Isn't there anything else?" they asked. "No," said Mrs. Pig. "Not today." The piglets were delighted. Never had they eaten so much tomato ketchup at one meal. Mrs. Pig had to open the next jar when they all wanted second helping. The afternoon was fine.
The afternoon
was fine, and they all went out into the garden to play in the sand pit. They made a long road for their cars and trucks.
I'm going to go in the sand.
Oh, yeah? William and Alan came in halfway through the afternoon to ask for cookies. But Mrs. Pig had shut the cupboard door. That's the word, cookies? Had shut the cupboard door, and they could not open it. By tea time, they were all hungry again. A large jam jar stood on the table, full of dark red liquid. "Is it ketchup again?" they asked. "Yes, as much as you want, and if you are very good, I might allow you half a piece of bread with it." "Oh, please, can we?" asked the pigs. So they were each given half a piece of bread. After tea, they watched television. William and Alan went through to the kitchen again to see if there was anything they could find, but the food was safely out of reach in the cupboards, and Mrs. Pig told them to wait until supper time. When they arrived in the kitchen, hoping for supper, the 10 piglets were happy to see a pan on the stove bubbling away. Imagine how upset they were when Mrs. Pig poured out 10 bowls of hot crimson liquid. "And that is all the supper you will have," she said. "What, nothing else?" snuffled the piglets. "If you are very good, you shall have half a cream cracker each with your ketchup." And that is all they were allowed. It did not seem very much. As they went up to bed, they were feeling uncomfortably empty.
If I had ketchup in the freezer, you should put the belly. And look, he's getting out of his bed. He's looking under his bed.
The following morning,
our ketchup is in the freezer. It never burns in the freezer. Only stop it for a minute, Daddy.
Why? No, you're gonna have to just come back. We're almost finished with this. The following morning, Sorrel Pig bounced out of bed ahead of the others. School started again today. She hurried downstairs. Well, apparently it is.
But men usually have that bow tie.
That tie,
Yeah.
that's true. I guess some girls' schools, they wear that as a uniform. I think this is I think this comes from England. They might dress differently at schools in England. Let me look that up.
Again.
She hurried downstairs. Cornflakes, she was thinking, and then a bowl of Rice Krispies and perhaps some instant oatmeal if she could manage the kettle, and 2 slices of toast and butter and marmalade. She opened the kitchen door, and there on the table was the 5th jar of ketchup, surrounded by 10 cereal bowls. She tried the larder door. Locked. Sorrel did not feel like ketchup for breakfast, so she went off to school on the train without any breakfast at all. When the other piglets came down and found nothing but the large jar, they were not very happy either. "Half a bowl of cereal with your ketchup, and that's it," said Mrs. Pig, doling it out briskly. They were so hungry that they ate it, in spite of the way the ketchup lay in blobs and lumps stuck to their cornflakes. Later that day, Benjamin and Garth were given ketchup for lunch. The rest of them spent the day at school, but at dinner time they opened their packed lunches to find no potato chips, no cookies, nothing but a ketchup sandwich each. By that evening, the piglets were desperate. "Please, Mum, don't get any more," they begged. "We just want food." Mrs. Pig beamed. "All right, I promise, no more big jars. Perhaps an ordinary little bottle now and then." From that day on, the 10 piglets had ketchup only on their eggs and French fries. But the time when they had eaten it had done a strange thing. It had changed them all from being little white piglets into pink piglets. And all piglets have been like that ever since. The next time you see some, take a close look. You will see that under their white hair they are pink. So be careful with that ketchup bottle, or who knows, you just might turn really bright pink yourself.
No, that's not true.
That is make-believe, that's right.
Tell us if you pay
Maybe.
Whoops. Whoops.
Yes.
That doesn't have any words.
That's true. That's the back. That's the back of the book.
I see the T and the P.
That's actually ouch! Ouch!
That's the 3 what?
That's ketchup. It was all ketchup.